This video is going to cover a simple way to record guitar ideas inside the MPC software using audio tracks. Check it out! What's up? My name is Matthew Stratton, helping you create and record music at home. On this channel, I'll do setup videos, tutorials, and overviews, just like this one. If you're new here, consider subscribing. So it's not very common for people to think about the guitar when they think about the MPC, but the MPC 2 software basically has unlimited audio tracks. So there's really no reason not to record your guitar into the MPC if that's what you want to do. So this video, I'm going to show you basically how I am going about recording guitar ideas for my new EP that I'm working on. And I'm going to show you how I come up with those ideas very quickly within the MPC software. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So when I started working on this, I basically made a template. So if I go to File, New from Template, I basically load up my template I have for this. And this is kind of a universal template. You can see I have, preset MIDI tracks, but then I also have some different things set up on the audio tracks. Now, you don't have to have the template set up. You can just use audio tracks. But for me, it just basically names everything beforehand, and I have a couple plugins I just have to automatically loading up. This way I don't have to do that every time. But you can see right here on this first track, it is a drum track. The second track is a drum track, and then I got a bass track, and then 4 guitar tracks, and then a couple of vocal tracks. So this way I'm able to go ahead and go in here and just start putting ideas down, and I can even record bass, guitar, and vocals right inside of the MPC software and get ideas out really fast. So the first thing you want to start with, or the first thing that I do start with, is actually putting a drum loop in there. Or you could do your guitar first. It's up to you how you want to do this, but I'm showing you kind of how I'm doing it right now. So I have Loop Cloud right here open. So if you don't know what Loop Cloud is, it's actually really useful. It is a free version, and there's a few different paid versions. But even with the free version, you could load your own samples in there and actually, audition the samples, before you load them up. And even the free version comes with a few samples. I'll leave a link in the description if you do want to check it out. You can sign up for free. But if you look right here, I just have a basic drum loop I selected from their library. Okay, so up here, this is kind of my own library, but right here, this sample is actually, one that I downloaded. So it's very easy to do this. If you look right here, I have track 1. All right, and I named it drums. And the reason why I did that is I could just click on this sample and pull it from Loop Cloud and just put it right on that audio track. Okay, so what this enables me to do is not really have to worry about programming the drums. So I could just go through the library and select a drum loop that I want and just pull it in, right? Now, this is at the BPM of 80, so I'm going to go up here and actually set this BPM of the project to 80. You can see how everything just lines up very nicely right now. I can actually select this. So if you look, I selected this mouse, I selected that. And you can see right here, the audio track goes past, it's bigger than what the actual loop is. So if I press this up at the top, this little plus sign, it's actually going to double that loop up or duplicate that loop. Okay. So it says duplicate audio region. All right. So now I have that audio region through all 4 of the bars of this particular sequence. Now, another thing I do like to do is actually just put a maximizer on this while I'm doing this, just to make the drums a little bit louder. You can see this is the maximizer, and I don't really do too much. I just use this little preset right here. This way the drums are a little louder. Okay, now keep in mind that these drums that I'm putting down probably aren't going to be the final drums, but it gives me something to play to. So I don't want to be worried about the drums too much. I just want to pull in a loop and then just start recording guitar. All right, so now that I got a drum loop in, what I'm going to do is go over to the next track. So if you look here, I can go to a guitar track. Okay. Now I am using the MPC Live in front of me to actually use as a controller for the software, just so you're aware. Now, if you look here on this particular guitar track, I named it Guitar 1, and I already have Guitar Rig on there. So if I open up this guitar plugin, okay, I'm going to be able to do a few things. First thing I can do is tune my guitar, but then, you know, I can put some different effects right there on my guitar. So I want to grab my guitar. Now in front of me, I have my Focusrite 2i2. I'm just plugging my hosted cable here right into the Focusrite 2i2. And then of course, the first thing I do is tune. Okay, so right there, that's the insert. So if you're not aware, you can hit this little arrow and you can see all your plugins right there. And you could just pick one to load up. Underneath that is the inputs. Now I already have it in the template to select the correct input, but if you didn't have it there, you would just select your input. So I'm going into input 1 on the Scarlett, so I just pick input 1 here. And then another very important thing, if you want to monitor yourself, is to turn this on. So I actually turn it on auto, and then I can hear the guitar. So I'm basically ready to record right now. What I'm going to do is just pick a tone, just a different kind of guitar amp inside of here. So you can see on my guitar amps, this is Guitar Rig 5, okay? It's not even the newest version. I'm just going to throw something on here real fast. Okay. So now I can actually play something to that. I can practice to that or whatever, and then whenever I'm ready to record, all I have to do is make sure that this right here is turned on. So that's my record arm right there. And then actually hit record. So in audio tracks on the MPC software, you do need to actually push the record button. They're not like MIDI tracks. Okay. So if you use overdub in audio tracks, it's not going to work. But if you use the record button, it's going to work. Okay. So we're all set to record. I'm going to press record, play start. All right, so as soon as I was done with that bar, it looped and then it started playing back because I have the setting right here on auto. So now I'm going to be able to hear that. So once we get one guitar in, we can actually just layer as many guitars as we want to. And as I showed you earlier, I have preset, 4 guitars. But let me just show you one more so I can kind of give you an idea. If you're finding value in this video, if you found it entertaining in any way, consider giving it a thumbs up below. I appreciate you for doing that. Let's get back into it. So you can see that I'm on the second guitar track here. I have input 1 selected. I got Guitar Rig here. So I'm going to click on that and actually, pick an amp. Okay, I'm just going to pick a preset. All right. This way, I can go ahead and record a second guitar track. I'm going to put this input right here. You can see where I can monitor it. I want to put it not on in, but auto. So this way, whenever it loops back around, I can actually hear what I recorded. I'm going to press record, play start. So when I'm doing this at this stage, because I'm just getting ideas down, I try to do the best I can at the recording. If it's not perfect, I can always go back and redo it. But, the less I have to redo it later on, the better. So, I try to get it pretty accurate up front. So this way, when I export it and go to mix it and everything like that, everything, it's pretty much good to go if I want to actually use this. All right. So let me show you something. So I'm going to actually solo this, right? And then I'm going to turn off Guitar Rig and then listen to what happens. So I have that clean guitar in there. So I can actually alter guitar rig, or I could put any other, guitar effect on here if I want to, because I have that clean signal in there. So that's pretty good right there. Now, what you can also do is actually record bass in there. So I'm going to go ahead and record a bass in here so you can kind of see that as well. All right, so I got my bass plugged in. So since I'm using the same input, I just got to kind of adjust the level a little bit real fast. And then I'm going to put this on monitor so I can hear it. All right, and then again, I got guitar rig on there. And, I can pick different bass sounds if I want to. So, for example, bass amp, clean bass. There's a bunch of different ones on here. I'm just going to use this first one because I'm not, trying to go crazy on sculpting the sound. I just want to get the ideas out, right? So I'm kind of explaining this process, so it's going to make the video a little longer. But when I'm actually in here and I'm actually doing this, I'm able to layer guitars down like pretty fast, using this method. I'm pretty much going to keep it nice and simple. So I'm going to hit record, play start. All right, so we're pretty set up. I got a good idea in there. It didn't take me too long. I could go back and adjust the levels if I want to. Just get a rough mix. But the idea here is to put down guitar tracks really quickly. Once you have like an idea down, you have all the magic of the MPC behind you. So you can actually, do things like if I right click up here, I can actually press copy, right? And then I can copy sequence to a new sequence, right? So I can put sequence 1 on sequence 2 and then name it something different, like, A2, and A just being an A section, right? And then, I can tweak that section a bunch of different ways, copy it again, tweak it again, copy it again, tweak it again, and get like 4 or 5 ideas just for an A section. And then what I can do is make a new section, like a B section, and then do the same process. And that's kind of how I'm building out the songs for the new EP that I'm doing is, I'm able to do this. I'm able to make like A section, B section, C section, and I'm able to get a bunch of ideas for each of the sections very fast like this. So there you go. I've been using this method the past few days. I've been laying out songs really fast using this method. The MPC is really great in this regard. And after you get your sequences done, it's very easy to arrange your sequences in song mode, put them into a new sequence, and lay down vocals if you want to. And I've actually done that a couple days ago, and it worked out really, really well. And I do want to mention Loop Cloud again. Even if you don't get any of their samples, it's still a really, really good library for your samples because you can actually pick your sample folder and then like your samples show up in here. Before I downloaded this, I was just going through my file explorer on Windows, and it was taking a little time to do that. Or, even through the MPC software, it takes a little bit more time. But right here, I don't know, it's just something about it. And you could just click and drag and drop your sample right into the MPC. So I really like this. Again, I'm in my 30-day trial, but I'll leave a link in the description below if you do want to check that out. So this video is the second video in a series I'm doing. The first video was me playing out my EP. This is how I'm kind of going about like recording ideas really fast for this particular EP. I'll put these videos in a playlist. So if you're interested in that, click or tap the screen over here. It's going to take you to that playlist. So I'm going to keep adding playlists to that. Eventually, I'm going to have a whole EP built, and you can check out the entire process. My name is Matthew. Continue creating music, and we'll talk soon.